This is the Detroit Sports Podcast Network.
So we're finally getting to a time where you can honestly say football is back. It's training camp. We just finished up the first, or we're in the midst of the first week of training camp. And Hard Knocks debuts next week.
See that trailer?
I've seen parts of it. I listened to an interview this morning on the ticket with I want to say it's the director of the show. I actually thought she did a really nice interview because I believe the Stoney and Jansen show were out at Allen Park on site, and she was obviously there. So
okay,
I thought it was actually a pretty interesting interview to get that side of things. But with that being said, as Lions season is beginning, the Pistons off season has hit crickets. We are in a point where we're not quite in training camp. We're in the in between where it's players just working out amongst their friends basically to get ready for training camp before we go into training camp and then preseason, then we get the season. But that lends itself to mostly no news. Obviously, guys, this is the Fan Report. My name's Nick, and with me is Andrew.
What's up, guys?
We're on episode number 168, almost 169. Nice. You can find us on Twitter at Real Fan Report, and our show network is the Detroit Sports Podcast. So thank you to Detroit Sports Podcast. You can find them at Detroit Podcast on Twitter. Not a lot of news in the Pistons front, and I know we try to tend to lean what we talk about on the show to Pistons topics, just because there are quite a few Lions shows on the network, and we like to give a little different spin of things. We don't want to, make our listeners have to listen to the same thing over and over again. This week, we don't get that option.
Nope.
This week, we have to talk about Lions. One, because, training camp began, which means fantasy football season is also almost here. Getting to bet on football is also almost here. Mm-hmm. Do you bet on the preseason at all?
Absolutely not.
I know a lot of people that do.
No chance.
I personally would not either. It's terrifying. Okay,
you would need to check me into therapy if
I
bet on
like
preseason.
Yeah, I would definitely be handing you the hotline number. But I realized something today, and it's not that I didn't know. Mm-hmm. It's more like I guess I just never really realized this. But did you know that the teams who play in the Hall of Fame game play an extra preseason game? Like, this doesn't count, like, the Hall of Fame game between, I believe it's the Jags and...
yeah, because they don't get, like, some random bye week in the preseason.
Right. They still play their 3 preseason games. So these teams have to play 4 preseason games. Like, why not just make it count?
What's the point of the Hall of Fame game again?
It's a tradition thing. They always play a game on the induction of the Hall of Fame. Tradition. That's literally the only point. Tradition. That's what it is. It's the same reason the Lions are still playing on Thanksgiving Day. That's what I would do, is I would, give them maybe week 1 of the preseason off.
Yeah, exactly.
Just count it as week 1 of your preseason and play weeks 2 and 3. But whatever. So with that being said, we are still going to have a little bit of a Pistons fun topic. It's not really related to any news because there really isn't any news to talk about. We're going to play a little bit of a game after we go through our Lions stuff here. We're going to kind of give an overhead view of training camp. What's the news coming out of camp? What are we excited to see in Hard Knocks? And is there anybody that's really kind of stood out to you to start camp? So let's go ahead and take it away. What is there's been a lot of storylines come out of camp, obviously. What's the one that is not necessarily got you the most excited about the team, but it's like caught your attention the most?
I'm going to have to go with the fact that despite all the optimism around Jeff Okuda, he reportedly still does not look the part in training camp. They just released videos of him getting beat in practice again. Even though I will credit Goff had like a really good throw on the.
Did you see the video of Kyle Hamilton get absolutely torched by that UDFA?
I did not.
Oh man! So video of Kyle Hamilton in coverage drills getting absolutely mossed by an undrafted free agent at wide receiver. Just absolutely mossed. Dude had probably 5 yards on Kyle Hamilton. And I know he's not a coverage safety. He's more of a, wreak havoc type safety, but you got to be able to cover a little bit to play the position, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it kind of made me feel, because he was a guy that I honestly, if he were going to be the second name the Lions grabbed in the draft, I would have been really happy. I would not have been happy with him as the first name, but kind of showing me that maybe he isn't worth it. I know it's just training camp. It's not really a big deal.
Yeah.
But either way, like getting absolutely mossed by an undrafted free agent isn't a good look in coverage drills. But going back to Jeff Okudah, we were taught before they put the pads on, we had all the videos and all the reports coming out that, Jeff Okudah looks so good. He's tipping balls away, making picks in camp, and he looks like he's back or he's here to play. And now they put pads on, and he's gotten absolutely demolished ever since.
Yeah, he's apparently in a QB2 battle with Will Harris.
CB2, not QB2.
Did I say QB? Yeah, CB2. That's what I meant. Yep.
If he has moved to quarterback, then there is something I'm seriously he's moved to the cornerback, which, I mean, I expected him to be the CB2. It was whether or not he was going to be starting at the CB2.
Will Harris shouldn't be putting up a fight with, you should be able to easily beat out Will Harris for the position. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Where is it? Is AJ Parker a nickelback for us? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. And then obviously Amani Oruwariye is going to be on the other side as your number one corner, which, with him being your number one corner, does that worry you at all?
I mean, I really liked what I saw from him last year, so.
Yeah, but as a number one? Like, going up against guys like Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah. Ideally, it'd be the guy you draft number 2 overall, but.
I obviously it would be the guy you drafted in the top 3, but.
I didn't realize that Jerry Jacobs on the pup list.
Jerry Jacobs is on the. There's a few. Isn't Josh Pascal also on the pup list? I thought I saw his name there. Let me grab a list of the notable pup list guys.
Now, while you talk about that, another notable thing that happened in training camp, Quintez Cephas down with leg injury again. Did they ever come out with what the injury actually was? And yes, Pascal is on the pup list, by the way.
Okay, I thought so. Romeo Okwara, Jerry Jacobs, and Josh Pascal are all on the pup list to start the preseason. All three are coming off leg injuries last year, including Pascal's season ender he suffered while at Kentucky. So those three guys are on the pup list. But it sounds like it's recovering from previous season's injuries. So it's not, and it doesn't seem like it's anything new. Williams obviously also is on a non-football injury list. How can Jameson Williams be considered a non-football injury? He tore his ACL in a game.
Because it wasn't an NFL football injury.
I mean, I get it. That's just still kind of weird to put his designation.
Only football that counts as NFL football. But yeah, have they come out and said what Cephas' injury was outside of the generic leg injury description?
I have not seen what the injury actually could be. I heard he was helped off the field by trainers. Aleem McNeil also has left practice.
Yep.
There's another name that honestly probably was going to play a really huge part of the defense this year along that D-line. Okay, Aleem McNeil did come back in on special teams drills this morning. So he left the field for a short period of time, but he did come back for special teams drills. I don't know if he... knee injury for Cephas. He was being helped to the locker room.
Well, yeah, I mean, I kind of gathered that much.
Well, they said it was a knee injury. They're probably not going to give us specifics on that knee injury until they have full tests on MRIs, who knows what. So, but as of right now, we have heard it's a knee injury. So that dude's really going to spend his entire rookie contract on IR, isn't he?
Looking like it.
And all honesty, it really, I feel bad for the guy, and it really sucks because it looked like he was, from what I have heard, he was having a huge training camp. Like, he was making big plays and really solidifying his spot on this roster. And because he was in a roster spot battle with Trinity Benson. And if Trinity Benson's able to stay healthy and Cephas isn't, there's a pretty decent chance Cephas may be a guy that gets cut because of that. He hasn't been able to stay healthy for 3 straight years now, and that's his entire career. So if he's not able to stay healthy, and Trinity Benson has been a factor in camp, his speed's shown out quite a bit. So you could see Benson kind of sneak into that final wide receiver roster spot. We did also see the Lions add Justin Jackson to the backfield there.
Yes.
You have a trio of DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams, and Justin Jackson. That was more so out of necessity due to injury. Trying to remember who went down for the Lions. Jason Kabinda is on the PUP list as well because of an ankle injury. And then UDFA, Greg Bell has not practiced yet either. So it looked like it was a depth play. They still have Godwin, Igwebuike, Craig Reynolds, and Jamar Jefferson on the roster who have primarily been on the second team. So it looks like this is a depth play at the running back for Justin Jackson, which honestly, I wouldn't hate him in short yardage situations.
Who, Justin Jackson?
Like, if you told me that our primary three backs were Jamal Williams, DeAndre Swift, and Justin Jackson, I'd be pretty damn happy with that. And then you have Jamar Jefferson coming in as like a change of pace type situation. I'm not going to be mad at that.
Yeah, I don't know about. I mean, yeah, I could. I don't know. I used to really love Justin Jackson. Then I got kind of jaded by him, and he had his moments with the Chargers, but he was never really able to.
When put in the limelight,
out.
yeah, I agree with you. He was asked to take on reps against first team players, but in this situation, you wouldn't be asking him to do that. Like he would be coming in spot.
Which you're right. His
roles.
best games were backing up Eckler, not necessarily.
Right, and that's exactly what you'd be asking him to do is just play some spot roles, play some third downs maybe, short yardage situations, get in there to make a block. Like you wouldn't need him to be taking 10, 15 carries a game. You have Williams and Swift for that. So you don't really need to ask a ton of him. You know, at most he's taking 5 carries a game, which in that type of spot, he kind of thrived.
Yeah. So I remember when that running back role was open and it was Eckler who was first in line for that starting job. I could have sworn Eckler's body was not going to hold up taking on workhorse duties like he did. Which I was kind of right. But,
I mean, he has been hurt.
But he still ended up being a damn good back.
Yeah, he's still a top-tier back.
But back to the Lions. That's beside the point. Another thing I've heard coming out of practice, for Aiden Hutchinson has really been showing out. Getting a lot of compliments from coaches, teammates.
I heard most of the hype coming out of Aiden Hutchinson were in drills that were before pads. I've heard since the pads have come on that it's been a lot of up and down for Aiden Hutchinson. I believe I heard of a video that's going around making its rounds where he got absolutely smoked on a play, like demolished on a play, embarrassingly. You don't want to see that, obviously, but
I did not see.
Since pads have been put on, I hear that it's kind of come down a little bit. He's still obviously extremely athletic. He's big. He's tall. He's long. There is still a lot to be excited about with him. Are you okay? Question. And this is kind of what the Aiden Hutchinson conversation kind of led me into this, but Aiden Hutchinson is getting the most money from the books, and the books are the most have the most liability on in terms of defensive rookie of the year on Aiden Hutchinson. The same is also true for Dan Campbell to win coach of the year.
Yep.
And I want to say it's Swift to win offensive MVP too. If I remember right.
I don't think it's offensive MVP. I think it's Swift to lead in rushing.
Maybe
yards?
it's leading rushing yards. Maybe it's rushing yards. You might be right on that.
But
is it just because the value's really good there? Because I don't see any of that happening. Like Aiden Hutchinson being defensive rookie of the year, I can see that. But Swift leading in rushing yards, 1, he's not a bell cow. 2, he's splitting rushing duties with Jamal Williams, and 3, he's not really a guy that's going to hit 100 yards every game. And to lead the league in rushing yards, you need to average at least 100 yards damn near every game. Especially when you have guys like Derrick Henry out there who averaged damn near 200 every game.
So I see the logic behind each of these bets. I don't agree with any of them. So like I could see making a play at Swift. One is like your long shot play, but there's the logic I think behind it is he's playing behind one of the best offensive lines in football.
Obviously, I think all of it has, besides Aiden Hutchinson, obviously, for Dan Campbell and for DeAndre Swift, is the offensive line is a big factor there.
Yeah,
no question about it.
The Dan Campbell pick, I think a lot of people expect a lot of win improvement just because of the schedule alone for the Lions.
Yeah, that's been a big one.
And anytime you have any massive swing in the win column, that coach is going to be looked at for Coach of the Year. So I think that's probably the main driver behind that one. But again, don't agree with it. And then, yeah, like you said, Aiden Hutchinson, that one you can actually see. I mean, he was number 2 overall pick.
Right.
So.
And a guy is a number 2 overall pick. He's almost expected to win Rookie of the Year award at that point. But another defensive name that's kind of been a big factor in camp and has really kind of caught some attention is Malcolm Rodriguez, a guy that, I said I really liked when the Lions drafted him. I wasn't sure what kind of role he was going to be taking, but he's apparently just been everywhere. Like he's really kind of showing up and showing out in camp so far. And does that really kind of excite you about his potential? I mean, he was the 188th overall pick. You don't really like that guy. Half the time doesn't even make the roster. Mm-hmm. Can you see Malcolm Rodriguez playing extended snaps for the Lions at linebacker this year? And it is a huge hole for the Lions too. Like that is one of the weakest part of the defenses.
Legitimately the only, because like I've been fooled on more than one occasion on buying into training camp hype, especially for the Lions. But it's kind of hard to avoid it when it's for the linebacker position because you want someone to plug that hole so damn badly. But to be honest with you, until I actually, I don't think I can buy into it until I actually see him in the preseason. Then maybe I'll buy into it a little bit more. But it's really hard for me to buy into training camp hype when you're just playing against your own team, first time playing in pads like yesterday.
I don't want to get too hyped up about it because we've seen this before, but Derek Barnes last year was a guy in camp who was the camp darling for the Lions. He came up and showed out.
That's a great example.
And, got a ton of hype around him being this top, a really good linebacker. And then he really struggled last year. He didn't make enough plays, in all honesty. So, but he was another guy who had a ton of hype coming out of camp because of the play in camp. And Malcolm Rodriguez seems to kind of be following that same path, a guy that's getting a lot of hype. Let's see if it actually translates to plays on the field, though. Because for Barnes, it really didn't. And that's not to say Barnes can't make an improvement this year, because I hope he can, and I expect he will, but it just wasn't there last year.
To be expected, but reviews have been raved about the offensive line's performance in camp.
Well, I feel like the offensive line is playing men amongst boys with this team, in all honesty, because like the Lions D-line, linebacker, the Lions front seven on the defensive side isn't anywhere in the same category as anywhere near the same tier as the Lions O-line. Like it's a totally different tier there. Lions O-line, as we've mentioned, is looking to be elite level in this league, and Lions D-line is just Lions front seven on defense going to be fighting to just be average in this league.
It says more if they struggle than if they do well.
Yes, absolutely. Like we expect them to do well. That is the expectation, is for them to be elite at on the O-line. So if they don't hit that, that's not good. That probably means this team's not winning very many games.
Yeah.
So obviously, Hard Knocks debuts next week. How excited are you?
I'm fairly excited. One, again, like I said before, I've never actually watched a season of Hard Knocks, so there's part of me that's just excited just to see, what exactly they do get into. But two, I miss football, so it's gonna be my first.
I obviously miss football too. So that being like the first football we see is nice. I've kind of like you. I've never really been that excited about Hard Knocks, and I'm still really not that excited this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like I never really wanted Hard Knocks to come to Detroit. Like I've said for a long time, please not Detroit, please not Detroit. And then it came here, and I get why they did it. Dan Campbell, with the personality he has, with the personalities we have on this roster, and this is now Jared Goff's. Did you know this is Jared Goff's like third time doing an NFL Films season? So I believe he's done I think this is actually his third time doing Hard Knocks. Now that I think about it, yeah, I think so, because he did it. I want to say he did it the year Jeff Fisher was fired, and I want to say he did it the year that Sean McVay came in.
The Rams have been on Hard Knocks twice?
I think it was the year that they did the Rams and Chargers split was his second year, where they did both of them for the move to LA, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm thinking of the right show, there's other NFL film shows that they do throughout the season too, but this is his third time either on Hard Knocks or on an NFL Films show season that went throughout the regular season. So he's obviously like probably pretty comfortable at this point.
Yeah. So the 2016 was the Rams. 2020 was the Rams Chargers.
Okay, so yeah, he's been on it 3 times.
Oh, they do like a mid-season Hard Knocks, don't they?
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah. No, because no, I'm saying this year. It says 2022 Arizona Cardinals, and I'm like, wait a minute. The 22, and then I see 2022 Detroit Lions, and Detroit Lions is like the preseason one, and the in-season Hard Knocks is the Cardinals.
I would much rather do the preseason Hard Knocks than the in-season, because the amount of distraction in the middle of your season that could come out of that, like, get away. Mm-hmm. Get the cameras out of here. We're trying to win football games. In the preseason, it's like things are still, obviously you work hard and it's business first, but like there's still a little bit of lightheartedness involved with some of the practices. And like they did the Lions did a talent show the other day. Aiden Hutchinson, Billie Jean. It's been a big story, big deal. And it's actually going to be on Hard Knocks.
Better be.
It is. It is. But like that's the type of stuff that happens in the preseason or in training camp that probably doesn't happen during the regular season.
Yep.
And you want to you don't want to have the distraction of the cameras in the middle of your season, especially for a team like the Cardinals, who are a notorious first half of the season team and then just fall apart later on. You don't want to see that type of distraction halfway through.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I definitely agree. Anything else to add on a training camp?
Think so. Let me look through some of these observations here.
We've covered everything that I've...
Panay Sewell, from what I've heard, is absolutely dominated in pads. Will Harris contending for a starting corner. We talked about that. Swift's looked good. Anthony Pittman's looked good. Chase Lucas. Austin Bryant's making a step up there. Actually, and this is coming from I can't remember her name, but the director of Hard Knocks, in her interview this morning, with the ticket, she mentioned, because they asked her, what is one player that's really stood out to you? And the player she mentioned actually kind of caught me by surprise, because I was thinking, oh, it's going to be Jamal Williams or Quintus Cephas or Panay Sewell and Hutchinson. She said that Amon-Ra St. Brown has been the most impressive player she's seen at camp this year, which that's exciting.
I mean, that's another thing you're gonna hope. I mean, he was like your most impressive offensive player last year. So
right,
the second half of last year.
Pride of Detroit goes as far as straight up calling him eye candy at times. All right, I like that.
I just want to get Jameson Williams out there and get that pair rolling.
Do you think that's not enough size?
What, between Jameson St. Brown and James Williams?
Yeah.
Isn't James Williams like 6 feet tall?
Yeah, but
that's
like
6 feet flat.
Big. He's 6'1", 190, so he's thin.
DJ Chark's got some size, doesn't he?
I think he's 6 feet also, but I think he's got a little bit more bulk to him. DJ Chark is he's tall. He's just not bulky. He's 6'4", 198.
Yeah,
so he's thin.
Size, so.
But he does have height. Well, I mean, that's still kind of like, I'm talking like an Anquan Bolden, like a 6'4", 6'5", 225, 230, like a big wide receiver that can just out-muscle people. Like, I feel like that's the one thing Lions are missing. And you could argue Quintus Cephas could have been that.
Yeah, that was supposed to be his role. He's not 6'4", 6'5". He's 6'1",
He's 6'1", but he's got 207 on his body. So, and you can expect his playing weights probably add another 5, 6, 7 pounds onto that. So he's probably looking about 215 at 6'1". That's more of what I was looking for. But obviously,
let's just hope that injury's not serious.
Yeah, about that. Guy hasn't shown an ability to stay healthy yet. So, what's the one thing you're most excited for coming up with this Lions team? What is the one thing you want to see the most out of Hard Knocks? That's what I'm going to ask. What is the one thing you're most excited to see on Hard Knocks?
This culture shift that's been so highly touted over the past year or so. I want to see what it actually looks like. I saw a clip of a Dan Campbell pre-practice speech.
They did show a little bit of a clip of the pre-practice speech,
nice.
and it was an emotional speech from what I've heard.
It's like a fire-up speech, like a rah-rah type of speech.
Right. Culture isn't born from the good moments; it's born from the bad. That's all I'm gonna say.
I know, I agree. But I just want, because we've had so many seasons of players just not buying into the coaching staff, just looking like they don't want to be here.
Well, that's because the bad moments you didn't instill the culture in the bad moments. You let it go awry.
I'm very curious to see even how almost fabricated it's going to seem on camera. I'm curious how bought into these players look.
Do you really think they're going to show anything that doesn't show them bought in, though?
Yeah, doesn't Hard Knocks focus on drama and stuff too?
Yes and no. I don't think they ever make the teams look that bad.
Oh, I never watched it. I couldn't tell you.
And neither have I guess. But so I can't really say
it'd be a boring show if it was
definitively.
all good times.
Right, but I also don't think that the teams I don't think that Hard Knocks is going to go out there and showcase a team that clearly is having an issue instilling a culture and making it obvious. You have the situations like Corey Coleman running with the twos and getting pissed off and asking to be traded. You have that. But, I don't think you're going to see situations where Hard Knocks is going to harp on a team struggling to maintain or instill a culture. I think they're going to showcase them putting a culture in place and getting people excited. You're going to show a lot more of the good than you are the bad is kind of what I'm getting at. And so I don't know how much I'm going to be able to buy into this quote-unquote culture with this team until I see it on the field in the regular season.
I'll give you one more if you want.
Yeah.
Because, one thing that I have heard a lot about that Hard Knocks does is cover training camp battles. So
I have. Yep.
It'll be interesting to actually be able to watch the training camp battle between Okudah and Will Harris.
I was my follow up to that was gonna be, what's the one battle you're looking the most at? Because people, I can see some people saying William Swift, but I don't really think that's a battle. I think it's a pretty split situation, no matter what. But that Okudah Will Harris battle is gonna be one that's interesting, and I'm curious to see if it gets nasty at all.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you've seen, but there's a lot of star players getting into fights lately.
I think I heard Amon-Ra St. Brown and Will Harris got a bit of a skirmish.
Yep.
But it was minor.
But I'm hearing around the league players are getting
competing.
big names are getting into some fights. Josh Allen got into a fight with a big ass D lineman on the Bills.
That happens every season.
Not with quarterbacks.
Not with quarterbacks.
Not with quarterbacks.
You got big fights happening every season.
Most of the time, it's between guys who don't matter, though. It's between guys who are fringe roster spots, and they're just trying to show the fire type of deal. But Brandon Ayuk and Fred Warner got into a fight today with each other, and I don't know if Brandon Ayuk, if his eyes were open, Fred Warner could eat him. Not a good idea. And Josh Allen also probably not a good idea to get into a fight with a defensive lineman. Just going to throw that out there. Anyways, shall we move on to the Pistons here?
Yeah, I actually do have a quick topic for the Pistons.
Really? Okay, sweet.
It's a super quick topic.
Yeah.
HoopsHype released a top 25 shooting guard ranking for the 2022-2023 season. First of all, just looking at the list itself,
Does it include rookies?
We are far from the days of top tier shooting guards.
The days of Kobe Bryant, Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter, Jordan.
let's Let's just say Desmond Bane's in the top 10.
Oh, God. Seriously?
Yeah.
Why does the shooting guard even still exist?
But yeah, Piston did make it. I think you can guess who it is.
Jaden Ivey.
Yep, he made it. He's number 25.
I was actually going to ask if rookies were on it.
Yeah, it's the only reason I'm bringing it up. I want to know, what are your thoughts on rookies being ranked in top whatever lists?
I don't like it because it's at that point.
Lists,
at that point, it's purely speculation, and it's just your opinion. And I get that the article is written on your opinion, but what are you basing this off of? What a guy did in college?
The write up is basing it off of Summer League.
Oh God, that's even worse. I would rather him just come out and say he based it off of college. At least that's real organized basketball.
Complete with a Summer League photo and everything.
And he only played, 3 games in Summer League?
1 game.
Oh my God.
One game in like a quarter where he hit a really good quarter, but it was 1 quarter.
How the hell can you definitively say that this guy's going to be in the top 25 of anything? And that's true with any of these rookies. That's
for
not
all
just
we
Jaden
know,
Ivey.
you could, by the end of the season, you could easily be a top 15, top 10 shooting guard.
But that's why I don't love preseason rankings, including rookies, because that's
exactly. That's the only reason I want to bring it up.
At that point, you have no idea. You're just throwing a name in.
Like even if it's a guy that's our guy that we really want to succeed, I think we're still sticking to our guns, saying preseason rankings, including rookies, is stupid.
How about this?
Yeah.
If Jaden Ivey is not inside the top 15, I'll be disappointed.
Do you want me to tell you who is right around 15?
Give me like 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Give me that 5.
I'll even give you 18 as well. 18 is Bogdan Bogdanovic. 17 is Lou Dort. 16 is Anthony Simons, who I think is entirely too low in this list.
You mean to tell me he's not better than Desmond Bane?
15 is Jalen Green. They got Jalen Green over Anthony Simons, so I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah,
14 is Gary Trent Jr. I'll still take Anthony Simons.
This list sucks.
13 is Klay Thompson.
Klay's not top 10?
Well, Tyler Hero's 12, Jordan Poole's 11.
All right,
yes,
I gotta ask.
Golden State Warrior than Klay Thompson.
Who the hell is the top 10?
Desmond Bane
at 10
is 10.
Okay.
Tyrese Maxey's 9. CJ McCollum is 8. DeJounte Murray is 7.
DeJounte Murray's not a 2, but okay.
Bradley Beal is 6. Anthony Edwards is 5. Zach LaVine is 4.
2, 3, yeah. Wait, who? Zach LaVine's 4?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Jaylen Brown's 3. Donovan Mitchell 2. And Devin Booker's 1.
This dude must really love Desmond Bane. Because one of these names is not like any of the others.
I think
like Bane's good. He ain't that good.
First of all, you move Anthony Simons like at least 6 spots up on this list.
Yeah,
you got at least get him in the top 10.
You know what? Screw it. Give me 11 through 15. Because now I'm very confused. Like, who is 11?
Like I said, 11 is Jordan Poole. 12 is Tyler Hero. 13 is Klay Thompson.
I'm sorry, but I love Jordan Poole just as much as the next guy. If you want to talk about a guy who could be the most, who could just fall off the face of the earth next year, I think he's the biggest candidate to do that.
It could be.
So who was after Poole? Sorry, I got heated.
Tyler Hero is number 12, and 13 is Klay Thompson.
Wow. 2 guards really have gone downhill. Like, Klay easily could have been number 1 just a few years ago, but if I'll say it again, if Jaden Ivey's not top 15 by the end of the year, I honestly don't think the season is a success for him. Based on this list, I don't think that's a success. He needs to be better than Lou Dort. In all reality, you got to be better than that. You just have to. You were taken number 5 overall. You're going to play a huge role on this team. You got to be better than a guy like Lou Dort.
Now, I'll forgive you if you're not as good as Anthony Simons at 16. I'll forgive.
That's fine, but we both have said that Anthony Simons should easily be. I would probably put Simons 10, Bane 11, maybe.
So this will be a good parallel. Jalen Green's rookie season land him at 15 on this list. Would you be okay with Jaden Ivey having a Jalen Green rookie season? Keep in mind, Jalen Green really started coming on strong towards the end there, but all in all, very middling.
Honestly, no, I'd probably be kind of disappointed, but that's me openly saying My expectations are probably realistically kind of high for Jaden Ivey. Maybe something like a Jalen Green rookie year is more along the lines of what should be expected of him. Like, what are your numbers? Like, what if you had to give numbers of what you would expect Jaden Ivey to put up next year?
Let's go with, I'll say 14-4-2, 14-4-2, 14-4-3 on shooting splits of, say, 43%, 44% from the field, probably like 32% from three.
What if I told you that's like not even a question worse than Jalen Green last year?
It is worse than Jalen Green last year.
Like, it's not even. It's a clear. Like, Jalen Green would beat you on pretty much every category at that point.
Yeah, it is worse than Jalen Green.
Jalen Green last year put up 17.3 points, 3.4 boards, 2.6 assists on 42.6 shooting, which is way higher than I expected.
I just don't expect him to get the volume that Jalen Green got. But yeah, the shooting splits are going to be tough to attain. I mean, Jalen Green's a better three-point shooter than Jaden Ivey. Like, that's
yes, he is. Mind you, that's with Jalen Green having an absolutely abysmal start to the year. So he clearly came on in a huge way later on.
Yeah, he did.
He actually was a little bit better than I was expecting. I'm not going to lie. I don't expect to see Jaden Ivey putting up 16 shots a game.
That's what I'm saying. I'm expecting to get the volume that Jalen Green did.
Although, honestly, is that wild to like fathom 16 shots? That's not that much for a guy who's going to be a focal point of your offense. Because let's be real. Think about it this way. Isaiah Stewart's not going to be a focal point of your offense. Marvin Bagley's probably going to get around, 12 shots a game? Mm-hmm. Bay puts up about 15. Why can't Ivy? I can see Ivy.
Put up?
Cade probably around 17.
So I got the per game stats right here. So Cade, let's rank it by field goal attempts. Cade put up 16. This is with Jeremy Grant on the team. Cade put up 16, Jeremy Grant 15, Sadiq 14.
So why can't Sadiq put up 15 and Jaden Ivey also put up 15? Like, I don't see that being that crazy. So the shooting splits of not being that, like the numbers of shots he takes being that much lower than Jalen Green, I don't think that's, like, I actually think he could be right around there. 15.8 a game.
I
don't expect to see 7.5 3-point attempts a game. I will also say I expect the team's total shot attempts per game to go up as well. When you remove ball stoppers, that tends to happen.
Yeah.
And they're removing a major ball stopper in Jeremy Grant. So I think as a team, their shooting attempts will go up.
Yeah, I think Cade and Sadiq are going to see a spike, and then a lot of what's left is going to go to Jaden Ivey, and then
I can see
Bagley, whoever's playing more minutes, the big.
I can see Cade getting around 17.
That's
Sadiq getting
one per game up.
17 or 18, yeah. I don't see a huge jump. 17 or 18 a game. I see Sadiq around 16. I think Sadiq's role is pretty well defined with this team, so I think I don't think he'll see a huge spike. I'd say probably around 16, and then Jaden Ivey probably around 15, with Bagley getting his 12 to 15 also, and then insert bench guy here getting 5, 6, 7, 8. I like I said though, I don't expect to see Jaden Ivey shooting 7.5 threes a game.
No, I'd be pretty upset at that.
I would too.
Unless he's hitting him at 35+% rate, then okay.
Yeah, that's fine. If he's hitting almost 36%, I'm not going to complain. I would like to see him.
But I don't
hit
expect him
38.
to. I'm expecting around 32%.
Yeah.
right
That's
around
probably
the
more,
low 30s is what
that's probably more realistic for Jaden Ivey.
Below 30, I'll be disappointed. Low 30s is what I'm expecting.
Yeah, that's fair.
35 or higher, I'll be impressed.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that.
All right, so we'll play a quick game. Close it out.
We can play a game.
All right, so this is a game I like to call Was I a Piston? I have 22 names listed here.
Okay.
Some more obvious than others, but none that obvious. And none of these guys that I can think of had any kind of like extended stretches with the team. So this is going to be, that's why I try to people to make you think. Like, I'm not picking Chauncey Billups in here. So is he a Piston? No.
It's going to be weird names.
But all names that
Your obscure names.
all names that you've heard of. I'm not giving you like Will Blaylock or something.
Which he was a Piston, wasn't he?
I think so. If I'm thinking of the right guy. Anyway, are you ready, sir?
I'm gonna find out if Will Blake. He was a Piston. He, in fact, was only a Piston. That's the only team he ever played for 1 year, and it was 14 games.
And if I hear typing,
Just out of curiosity, what the hell made you come up with the name Will Blaylock? That dude played 14 NBA games.
I was trying to think of obscure name, and for some odd reason,
That was the one that came to mind? Okay, that was a deep cut. All right.
What year was that? 2012, 2013?
2006.
Damn. See, I'm way off.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
First name, Allen Houston.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was.
Wasn't he
Was she-
drafted by the Pistons?
Yeah, drafted, played his first 3 years, and then he
That's right.
immediately dipped in free agency.
Yes, that's right.
We could have had a solid squad if if that core of Grant Hill and Allen Houston stayed together, and then adding in
then
Jerry
you bring in
Stackhouse.
Stack also, which good luck making that work positionally speaking in that era of basketball. But hey,
But Allen Houston wanted out in free agency. Grant Hill wanted out in free agency, but thankfully we were able to do a sign and trade instead, so we can get something back, and that something was Ben Wallace. Anyway, number 2, Brent Barry.
Brent Barry, he was not a Piston. Didn't he play most of his career with the Spurs?
That's correct. I was hoping you're going to get him mixed up with John Barry. So I was trying to trip you up on.
I would not get him mixed up with JB. Was John Barry? Was he? Is there ever been an NBA player that looked more like a teacher than John Barry?
Yeah. I always thought John Barry looked like a dad more than an NBA player. Look like a dad that shows up to the YMCA like, can I run with the young guns?
I heard someone say a while back, and it just kind of made me laugh, but I've heard that Brent Barry walked so Gordon Hayward could run, and it just cracked me up.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. All right. Next name, Chris Webber.
I mean, obviously. Yeah, no question.
Pretty easy so far.
Yeah.
Next name, Christian Laettner.
Yes. Yes, he was.
That is correct. He did
I had to
play
think
for the
about that
Pistons.
one.
Number 5, Anton Jameson.
Yes. Actually,
No.
not even that long ago.
No.
No?
Anton Jameson. Unless I'm mistaken, Anton Jameson was never a Piston.
I'm thinking of, was it Jamal Mashburn?
I'm double checking to make sure I didn't get him. Yeah, no, he was never a Piston.
Hang on just a second.
Next name, Corey Maggette.
Corey Maggette was a Piston. Maybe that's who I'm thinking of.
That's why I ran it off real quick because I'm like, it's probably who he was thinking of.
Yeah, that's who I'm thinking of.
Yes, Corey Maggette was a Piston. Those were dark days.
Yes, they were.
Derek Coleman.
Derek Coleman, yes, he was. He played center for the Pistons.
Yes, he did. If I'm not mistaken, he was on that championship team in 04.
I thought that was Eldon Campbell that year.
I believe they both were on that team.
Were they? Okay. You might be right, actually. You might be right.
Eric Snow.
He was not.
He was never a Piston.
He was a big-time 76er point guard.
Jalen Rose.
Jalen Rose was not a Piston. I could be wrong on that.
You are correct, sir.
Oh, okay.
I was hoping, Detroit roots, maybe you get it mixed up and be like, yeah, I think he... All right, Chris Middleton.
Chris Middleton was a Piston second-round pick, and we traded
Unfortunately,
and
we
he
let
got
him
rid
go.
of his ass, and now he's a star with the Bucks.
Elton Brand.
Elton Brand was never a Piston.
You are batting 100, sir, or 1,000.
Yeah.
Kwame Brown.
No, I got Antoine Jameson wrong.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that one.
Kwame
Kwame Brown.
was a Piston. We drafted him, if I remember right.
We did not draft him, thank God. No, the Wizard. Michael Jordan, the Wizard.
That's
drafted
right. The
Kwame
Wizards
Brown.
drafted him. Yeah. But we did bring him in, didn't we?
We brought him in later in his career.
Yeah,
I think the late
okay.
2000s is when we had him on the team.
Yes.
drafted,
Yes.
like,
I don't know why I thought we drafted him for a second. No, I remember that the Wizards.
If we had drafted both Kwame Brown and Darko Milicic, I think we should light the whole organization on fire.
Yes, we absolutely should have. Kwame Brown blames Michael Jordan for ruining his career.
Oh,
If I'm thinking of the right story, I think it was the pressure that Jordan put on Kwame Brown that he attributes to ruining his career.
maybe if you're the number one pick.
You shouldn't suck.
I mean, you could argue he never should have been the number one pick, but
Yes. You can't really blame a guy for where he was taken.
Yep.
But, yeah, you shouldn't suck.
Mateen Cleaves.
Mateen Cleaves was a Piston, yes.
Yes, he was.
I'm pretty damn good at this game.
You are pretty damn good at this game. Michael Redd.
Oh, this is where I'm going to say no.
You'd be correct, sir. He was never a
Okay,
Piston.
all right. That one I wasn't 100% on.
Nikola Mirotic.
Mirotic has not been a Piston.
Remember him?
I
put
do.
that name. I put that name on there because I was like, remember?
So speaking of big white guys, Enes Kanter is still a free agent. Should the Pistons give him a call?
We got so many bigs.
Well, you can have him play the 4 because he can't play a lick of defense to begin with. So what if you bring him in to play the 4 in like a mop up duty? He is a solid offensive player.
Yeah, get rid of Kelly Olynyk then, and let's save some money if we're going to do that.
You
You're
trade
going to sacrifice even more floor
you
spacing.
trade
to do
Olynyk
that.
and you bring in Kanter.
But
I mean, obviously Olynyk is a much better player, but anyways, I just saw something today that Enes Kanter was still a free agent. I was like, really? Like, the guy is obviously you can't play him in the playoffs, but during the regular season he can come in and play some mop up role, bring a little spark off the bench. Anyways, go ahead and continue.
next name on this list, Ron Harper.
No.
He was never a Piston.
Okay. All right.
Next name, Sean Elliott.
No.
He was.
Ah, damn it.
He was a Teal Era Piston.
What year?
I'll give you the exact year in a second.
Damn. I was doing so good.
You were doing so good. 93, 94.
Oh, okay. So I was like 1.
Theo Ratliff.
Theo Ratliff was a Piston.
He was a Piston.
I remember him. He wore a
Shot blocking
headband, didn't he?
savant.
He wore a headband, right?
On and off.
Yeah, okay.
That's such a weird thing to ask. You wore a headband.
No, like I distinctly
Like that. That's
remember-
that's like the defining thing you remember about Ratliff.
Yes, this dude with a headband. Bald dude with a headband. That's what I remember about Theo Ratliff. And
Maybe
I
he had
could
one in
totally
like
be thinking
NBA
about
Live
somebody
or
else.
something. But I'm to be honest with you, I don't see pictures of him in a headband
No?
anywhere.
Okay, then maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. But I figured he was a Piston at least.
Yeah, he was a Piston. That is for sure.
No, guy never really wore a headband. Okay, next.
I think he had 2 different stints with the Pistons too. It wasn't like just a Piston like for a year and then like I think he had a couple.
He was with
different
the
stints.
Pistons in 96, 97, and then he was with the Pistons again later on. You're right.
I was about to say like for some reason I can like anyway. Next up, Tim Hardaway, senior, not junior.
No.
You'd be correct.
Oh, got it.
T.J. Ford,
No.
you'd also be correct.
I'm still looking up Theo Ratliff.
Tony Kukoc, senior, not
Tony
junior.
Kukoc was not a Piston.
I always said senior, not junior. Like there's junior.
Tony Kukoc played his entire career with the Kings, didn't he? No,
he
I'm
played
thinking.
for the
I'm thinking of Vlade Divac. Never mind.
And now he played for the Lakers too.
Vlade?
Yeah,
He did?
yeah.
I thought he played his whole time with the Kings. Okay. To answer your question, yes, Theo Ratliff played with the Pistons twice in 95 to 97. He was drafted by the Pistons.
What was his second year?
2008.
Oh shit! I didn't even. Think
So
it was
he
that
literally
late.
had a
Okay.
10-year gap in between his stints with the Pistons.
I didn't even think it was that late. All right. Final name. It should be a Nerf toss. Tracy McGrady.
Yes, he was.
Oh, was that a glorious year?
T-Mac's still one of my favorite players of all time, but
I don't think I've ever rooted for a player in a Pistons jersey harder than Team.
during some dark eras of the team
I wanted
too.
him to be like I was like, you could do it. You could be the Team Mac of old.
You wanted him to be T-Mac from 10 years prior.
We have what was that? What was the trainer's name that used to basically work magic on players?
Oh man, what was his name? Why do I feel like his name was Art something?
Yeah, that's what, I'm like thinking like Arnie. Like it's not Arm Tellem. I'll tell you that much.
No, I can't remember. But
I was like, yeah, said trainer, he can heal him. He can get him back into his glory days.
Theo Ratliff played 16 games for the Pistons in 2007, 2008.
That's probably because he was on a walking stick.
Yeah, pretty much. He actually still played for like 4 more years after that, too.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. He played, his last season was in 2011.
Wow.
Yeah.
Long career.
Yeah.
I remember playing with Theo Ratliff in NBA Courtside 98. Like,
Could the Pistons make an
Kobe
argument?
Bryant's NBA Courtside 98 for the
Yeah.
N64.
Could the Pistons make an argument for having one of the best all has-been team? AI, T-Mac. You could make
Chris
an
Webber.
argument for Chris Webber.
No, it is. He's.
I mean, he was
an
still pretty
argument.
good with the Pistons.
He was definitely a hazard with the Pistons. Like a guy you could make an argument for in terms of being past his prime but still being good with the Pistons is Antonio McDyess.
Yeah. Well, McDyess was coming off of a pretty major injury, so yeah,
Exactly.
like he was definitely beyond his best years when he came to Detroit, but he was still pretty good, obviously.
Yeah.
Who else would fall under that? Let's build it. We got a few minutes here. Let's build an
Blake
all has been
Griffin,
team.
not
with the
like the
Pistons.
2018-19 Blake Griffin, but like Blake Griffin.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna build a starting lineup of has-beens. So at the 5, 4,
So they're
3,
okay.
2.
Well,
so
you're starting one and you're starting backcourt is AI and T-Mac.
yep.
I don't think there's
AI
any
and
question
T-Mac.
there. I'd slot Weber at the 4.
Weber in at the 4, okay. So let's think of some 5s that were big-time has-beens. I mean, you could make an argument for other guys out there would be Blake Griffin. You could look at Antonio McDyess. Does Ben Gordon count?
He was one time.
Yeah, a one time.
I don't know why the first thing that popped in my head for bigs was Nazir Muhammad.
Oh, Nazi Mohammed, there's a good name. Was
But, like, he was never that-
I was gonna
he was
say,
never that
really
good.
that good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was never that good to begin with. Oh, does it count if we say like when we brought back Ben Wallace?
No, because he played his best years with the team. Ben Wallace 2.0. Nazi Muhammad was technically in the middle of his career when he was with the Pistons.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't ancient.
No, his 2 best seasons were 2000-2001 with Atlanta. He averaged 12.3 and 9. And then in 2004-2005 with New York, he averaged 10.9 and 8.1. With the Pistons, he never averaged more than 5.6 points. He started 33 games that year, too, but he only played 15 minutes a game.
Oh my god!
How do you start 33 games and only play 15 minutes?
You just started by name. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much. So, could you make an argument to put Blake or C. Webb at the 4 and 5? Or maybe we could do Blake at the 3, McDyess at the 5. That's a really weird lineup, but you got
That
3
is a
power forwards, and you have 0 shooting.
At that
on
point, I
team.
think I put Weber at the 5.
Yeah, I'd probably lean Weber at the 5, but you have 0 shooting on that team. Just saying.
T-Mac, that's about it.
Yeah, and Blake Griffin in 2019. I can't think of any other has-beens that the Pistons brought in.
Yeah, this is harder than I expected. I thought I was going to run through this. Real
I
quick,
did
but
too.
Brandon Jennings was not a has-been when we got
No,
him.
you could argue that
He
he played.
became a has-been with.
Yes, you could argue he played some of his best basketball with the Pistons. Honestly, man, this is kind of.
Oh, Eldon Campbell.
Was he ever actually any good though?
So wasn't Derek Coleman actually pretty good at one point in his career?
You know who else you could argue is Cliff Robinson.
Yes, good one.
I would
Very
say
good
Cliff
one.
Robinson's like firmly on this team.
Yeah, I would definitely argue Derek Coleman.
Derek Coleman.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. So then we got to figure out what to do with C-Webb. Do we move him down to the 3? Because, I forgot Uncle Cliff died.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Cliff Robinson, like, he was a monster before he came to Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, am I looking at the right Cliff Robinson? Because this does not say he played on Detroit.
Did he play on Portland?
No. This is
Those
not
were
the
his
same
best
Cliff
years.
Robinson.
Oh, well. Cliff Robinson was a pretty damn good player on the Portland Trailblazers
Yes, he was.
in the 90s.
Well, this Cliff Robinson was also quite good. Derek Coleman. Oh yeah, was he a has-been with Detroit? My God. Goes from averaging 20 points a game to 1.
Yeah, to put in perspective, Derek Coleman's arguably best season would have been 1993, where he averaged 20.7 points per game, 11.2 boards per game on 48% shooting. In his 1 year with Detroit, he averaged 1.8 points per game, 2.4 boards per game on 25% shooting.
That's defensive boards, 3.0 total.
Yeah. 10 minutes per game is what he got.
So, yeah, definitely the has-been there. Clifford Robinson, I would put up there also, but what do we do with...
He's just like, I need a championship ring, guys. He didn't get it, though.
No, he did not, because he was on the 05 team.
Yeah, he
was
almost
still
got
with
it.
Philly
Didn't
on
get
the
it.
04 team. Eldon Campbell, there's one that I'm kind of curious on, though.
I'd take that one back. I thought he was better than he actually was.
He wasn't bad. He had a year of 15.3 and 9.4 with...
but he wasn't good enough to call him a has-been.
Yeah, Charlotte Hornets.
You gotta have a certain peak to be called a has-been.
Yeah. I would say, and if we're taking a center here, I would definitely say Derek Coleman's the guy over Eldon Campbell.
Yeah.
What are we doing with Uncle Cliff or C-Web? Because both those guys are pretty damn good, obviously. C-Web's the Hall of Famer, so he's got to be in there. Well, Clifford Robinson played the 3 for a lot of his career in Portland. He's listed, he's listed as a 3 here. Because he played from the years 1994 to 2000. He played the 3 for Portland and Phoenix.
So it's basically, I don't think we can eliminate Weber.
No.
Then you look side by side at Coleman and Cliff. It's kind of hard to take Cliff over Coleman.
Well, I would put Clifford Robinson at the 3, Coleman at the 5.
But then you eliminate Blake.
Oh, that's true.
And Blake did play a little bit of 3.
He sort of did. Out of pure necessity because you had DeAndre Jordan and Serge Ibaka.
Any stretch of the imagination.
You clearly have a situation where we have a lot of bigger guys that were has-beens coming to Detroit because we have Blake Griffin, Antonio McDyess, Eldon Campbell, Cliff Robinson, Chris Webber, and Derek Coleman as like the has-been big
I'm just saying, now I think about it, with Blake Griffin, can we really put him on the all has-been team if you could argue that that was his best season in the league with the Pistons?
Yeah, I would that's where I'd say, is it really sure, he wasn't the high flying dunker, but he still played arguably his best career season with Detroit.
Yeah.
So I do kind of feel like it's tough to put him in that.
All right, we'll take Blake out.
Yeah, let's take, because he averaged his highest scoring season with Detroit. So we can take Blake out because you can't really argue as a has-been in that year.
It's also his best 3-point shooting season.
Yes. All right, so our team is Derek Coleman at the 5, Chris Webber at the 4, Clifford Robinson at the 3, Trace McGrady at the 2, and Allen Iverson at the 1.
Taking all those in their prime, is that a championship team?
Oh, God, if it's not, that's an all-star team. That's like beyond a championship team. I always forget how short of a time period that Chris Webber was with Detroit.
Yeah, it was like a year.
I don't even think it was a whole year. I think it was half a season. Because he only played, it was half a season because he played 2006, 2007 with Detroit, but he also played 2006, 2007 with Philly. He played half a season in Detroit. And it's a far cry from what he put up with Sacramento, obviously.
Oh, yeah. Definitely a far cry.
A lot less.
He played 43 games, exactly. Yes.
So he played half a season in Detroit. But anyways. All right, so there's our team with McDyess and Eldon Campbell coming off the bench. That's an all-star team in their primes. No doubt about it. You don't have the best shooting of anybody out there, but you've got some muscle.
We actually forgot a name.
Who?
Corey Maggette.
Corey Maggette is an interesting one.
He was definitely a hazard by the time we got here.
Oh, to an extreme.
But the man was pretty good with the Clippers.
He was pretty damn good. Never made an all-star game, but he had a season where he averaged 22.2 points per game and 6 rebounds.
Averaging 22 points per game in the early 2000s in the NBA and not making the all-star game is insane to me.
That is kind of wild. He shot 43% from the field.
Is it a 30% from 3? Is that what kept him?
Yeah, well, he only took 2.5 threes a game though. But back in those days, that's not that unheard of. I don't know. Maggetti's an interesting one. He played 3 different positions throughout his career between
Yeah, but he'd be
shooting
our
guard,
starting
small
3 if we put him in the starting line.
most likely. But do you take him over Cliff Robinson? That's the tough call right there, because I feel like Clifford Robinson sustained the success longer. Well, maybe not. Well, I don't know. It's pretty even there. Clifford Robinson was still pretty damn good with Detroit.
Yeah, they're basically on par with each other.
Yeah, I would probably say so. The only thing is Clifford Robinson was a hell of a lot better with Detroit than Corey Maggetti was. Mm-hmm. Like, Corey Maggetti averaged 5 points with Detroit. Cliff averaged, let me see here, 14.6 and 12.2. Mm-hmm. So he was still pretty good. And played 35 minutes a game. Over 35 minutes a game for Detroit, actually. Yeah. So, but either way, I think you
Maggetti's a little more of a natural fit, but if we're going to go purely on stats and size and measurables and all that, I'd want to lean Cliff at the 3.
Yeah, I probably would too.
But I want Corey Maggetti on the team, though.
Yeah, he's coming off the bench with McDyess and Campbell. We still have no backup guards. Just throwing that out there.
We have an 8-man rotation, though, with no backup guards.
Yep. So
our backup guards will be Chauncey Billups, because, we brought him back.
But to have AI and T-Mac kind of anchoring your backcourt, I don't think I'm going to complain.
No.
So, but anyways, that is going to close it out for this week, guys. Thank you for listening. We will catch you next week as we dive deeper into Lions training camp, and are we going to get to see some Hard Knocks before our episode recording next week? When's the debut?
To a week from today, I believe. So probably not, because I'm not planning on staying up till midnight Monday to watch.
Hard Knocks premieres Tuesday, August 9th.
Yeah.
Is it actually a midnight release, though?
That's usually how it works.
Well,
like midnight or like 3 a.m. like because of the West Coast. But it's usually like an overnight thing.
So would it be released overnight on Monday night or Tuesday night?
You wake up Sunday or Tuesday morning. Well, then again, I don't know, because I forgot HBO is a little bit different since it airs live, since they actually have a TV channel.
Right. Debuts on Tuesday, August 9th at 10 p.m. Eastern. So no, we will not be able to see it.
Okay, so no.
Sucks.
Yeah.
But anyways, we will catch you guys next week. So we'll talk about Hard Knocks the following episode, but hopefully we'll have some Pistons to talk about next week.
We'll record and then we'll go watch Hard Knocks and then we'll record again.
We'll see. Follow us on Twitter at RealFanReport.
God, that's gonna be annoying because we're gonna be like an episode behind every time when we record.
I know, right? Go ahead and give Detroit Sports Podcast follow as well at Detroit Podcast. Thank you guys for listening. This has been the Fan Reporters. Bye, fans.
For fans.
Have a good one, guys. Enjoy your week and weekend, and enjoy Hard Knocks. Peace out.
Peace.